What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a massive assortment of boxes all for the K24 swap Subaru BRZ build. I'm super stoked. I've been waiting on some of this stuff for months and months to come in. I ordered some of this back in August and it's now January. So it's been, what, 4 months waiting on some of this stuff. We've got a clutch, we've got injectors, we've got AC lines, we've got the ECU. So I'm gonna stop talking, I'm gonna get all this sort of broken down and we're gonna unbox all this stuff and then I'm going to explain basically the plan for the build, and my overhead light just went off. Anyway, let's jump into it. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you are having a good start to your 2022 and that hopefully it's better than mine has been. I have been working almost exclusively night shifts since the end of December, really, and that's the main reason for not a whole lot of content being posted on this. I'm working during the night and sleeping during the day, and then the 2 to 3 hours I have before I go back to work, I haven't, really had the energy or the enthusiasm to get anything recorded. But anyway, now that I am back on more of a regular daytime hours working schedule, I'm gonna have a lot more content coming out soon. I've already got a couple of videos planned for the next few weeks. So make sure you stay tuned for that. My overhead light just cut off again. I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna jump right into all of this unboxing. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning. It's almost like, all right, what are we gonna get to first? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 or 8 boxes to open up and show you guys what all I've got. And so really the first thing doesn't even necessarily need to be unboxed. This is my OEM timing chain replacement for the K24 engine. This is an imported JDM K24 out of an Acura TSX. And so it only has about 45 to 50,000 miles. So I don't necessarily need to do this. I don't have to do this, but since I'm gonna have the whole thing pulled apart, this is gonna be one of those things that's just like, you replace it while you're in there, and it's just good habits to replace all the old parts, because this engine hasn't run in 10, 12, 15 years probably. So that's number one. I don't really know what order my K-Power boxes are in, so I'm just gonna pick one, open it up, and we'll see what we got. I've misplaced my knife in somewhere in here in the garage, so I'm just resorting to having to use a pair of scissors here. What's behind door number 1? This is a big one. This is one that I've waited on for, this is what I've been waiting for probably the longest. This is the new oil pan for this swap. The guys over at K-Power have done so much amazing work on this whole kit for the last, I don't know, year and a half, really developing this entire swap. So huge shout out to the guys over at K-Power. If you want to check them out, I'll have a link down to their website in the description. Oh, baby. Yo, that is fire. I'm gonna give you guys some product shots of just about everything that we've got here after the fact, so you guys will be able to see all this. But this is a baffled oil pan that is really high quality. It's all, made from sheet aluminum, like hand fabricated. Man, that's clean. That's gonna be so sick. This was one of the most important parts to this whole swap, is trying to have an oil pan made that can be used without having to modify the front subframe. So this big gap right here will allow for the engine to sit properly while the front subframe goes underneath. So that's gonna be super awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this back up and then we'll move on. So this is just more baffling for the oil pan. That's actually an OEM Honda part that they supplied with it. So that's super dope. This here is actually a jumper. So this is going to be part of the wiring harness. They have a fully, hand-built, plug-and-play style wiring harness, which I think the rest of it is in this box here. But this is just part of that. So this is, I believe, going to be connecting the ECU to the chassis harness. I'm not 100% certain. I need to go back and look at their install guide, but that's just part of the wiring. We've got some OEM Honda boxes. The Type S oil pumps have been, like the Acura Type S oil pumps, have been on back order for months now, and so they're really hard to get. K-Power built their oil pan specifically for the Type S oil pump. I think you can use a stock one, but you really want the Type S oil pump anyway. They're reserving the stocks that they have to, you know, sell to the people who are buying their swap kits for this build specifically. Yeah, this guy right here. So this will bolt more or less onto the front of your engine. You've got your oil pulley, and then here's your pickup. So this will drop down into the oil pan itself, and that's your pickup where it then feeds to the rest of the engine. This was a 6 score, because these are not, like I said, these are not easy to get right now. Ooh, that is interesting. Again, another part of the wiring harness. So this is the jumper board. That thing is crazy. Okay, the light is way too reflective, but yeah, you can see right there. It's got their K-Power stamp on it. I'm not sure if this connects directly onto my new ECU, and then, I don't know. Again, I need to go back and read through the install instructions again, but that is going to be a very nice piece there. These are going to be the new motor mounts. Oh, look at that. Nice, really nice paint coat on there. It's got their, like, the K for their branding cut out of it. So yeah, this will sit on the subframe, right? And then this will bolt directly into the bottom of the engine. This is only one half of it, the other half is here as well. But man, that's a quality piece. God, dude, everything from K-Power has just been so incredibly high quality from these guys. I cannot recommend their products enough. Yeah, so that's it for that box. This is exciting. I've been waiting for so long to get all of this stuff that now that I'm like seeing it all, it's becoming real of like what I'm actually doing. All of this stuff like is gonna be installed in the car. And when it's done, oh, this thing's gonna be so sick. Turn off my little space heater. It's about 40 degrees outside, so that's why I've got my garage door closed. We got more snow in South Carolina than I have ever seen in my life about a week ago. So anyway, yo, K-Power, shout out, giving me a little beer koozie. Fantastic, and some stickers, of course. That looks like an oil line, maybe? See, they got the labeling. Alternator extension cable, there you go. K-Power 86 fuel kit. Okay, so this is just gonna be part of the fuel kit. Yeah, so I can see I've got my fuel line and then an open end here, and I've got my fuel rail in here somewhere. So this is the upper coolant neck. So what this is for is to basically route the coolant from the back of the engine around to the radiator. In stock form, it routes to the driver's side, but for the 86 platform, it needs to route to the passenger side. Again, it's just solid billet aluminum. Very, very nice laser etched with their logo. So yeah, basically this bolts flat onto the back of the engine block, and your coolant that circulates through your engine comes out here and then will feed out to the passenger side of the engine bay. Everything from K-Power has been of exceptional quality. Oil sensor, we'll need that for oil temp? Just says oil sensor. Either way, need one of those. Let's see. Ooh, is this the Puba? That's the one. Let's see. This is the Haltech Elite 1500 standalone ECU. This is the brains of the whole operation. This standalone ECU right here is going to be able to control everything on this engine. More or less the like creme de la creme. I mean, Haltech isn't like the only standalone ECU company And there are others that are equivalent, but like this is a nice piece. This alone, I think, was about 15 or 1600 bucks. This is a Haltech specific USB. So they send you base maps for a stock K24, obviously mine's turbo, standard exhaust manifold, not including a turbo, but this at least will get your car started. It'll get your car running. So, you know, whenever you go to fire it up for the first time, like the ECU is not completely mind blown by what's happening. Like it'll have some information behind it. K-Power heater hose kit. So your heater core, which is, it supplies your heater, which provides heat to the cabin, as well as, you know, regular AC. This provides it with heat. So the stock lines for the FA20 are not gonna work because they're in different places and all that. So this is a replacement for the K24. So this is not the full wiring harness, but a whole heck of a lot of it. So this is, you know, I think this guy right here, this big central connector, will connect to the chassis harness, which feeds all the information to the rest of the car. And then all of these little sensors, you've got spark plugs, you've got MAF, like air flow sensors, air pressure sensors, coolant temp, oil temp, all that stuff goes into this guy here. And then you have another smaller connector set, which goes to many things, I'm sure. There's so many things. Doesn't say that. And again, my light's too damn bright. So this is your wideband controller. Basically, when it's measuring your air fuel ratios, this is going to be able to interpret that data, feed it to the ECU, and so the ECU knows what to do with it. Throttle body adapter. So the throttle body that they intend for you to use with this swap is actually the FA20 throttle body. They say take the throttle body off of that, use this adapter, slap it onto the K24. So we're good to go there. This is my 50-degree VTEC cam gear. So what all of that means is that, so this engine is a VTEC engine, right? And so the gear for the camshaft, so you have your timing chain that goes around according to your crankshaft position. Your camshafts on the front of them have two different, well, each one of them has a single gear. So the standard VTEC cam gear has 25 degrees of angle ability. So it can open 12.5 degrees early and it can open 12.5 degrees late for a total of 25 degrees. So what this guy enables you to do is you take the 25-degree cam gear off and you put on this 50-degree cam gear, and that allows the VTEC to actuate at a wider range. So you can get more power, you can get, technically, I guess if you wanted to get more fuel efficiency, you could, but that's not really what we're here for. So that's gonna be a big component to just being able to open up that power band. That's gonna be a very nice piece. Excited for this. This is a big one. Oh, it's in packing peanuts. Yeah, so that's our new K-Power fuel rail. So your 4 injectors go in that way. You've got your 2, connector bolts. So your fuel from your fuel pump goes through the lines and goes to the regulator and all the lines, and by the time it gets to the engine bay, it feeds in here, and then all 4 of these go to your individual injectors. Man, these parts are so clean. There's no sharp edges. The finish on this is all like immaculate. The threads are perfect. I can't sing the praises of K-Power enough, dude. It's insane. Ooh, this is bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Based on the images and my imagination of scaling. Again, K-Power logo. So yeah, this bolts onto the 4 intake runners for your 4 cylinders. And this, your throttle body adapter, and then the Subaru FA20 standard throttle body will go onto the front of that. And then for me, normally for other folks, if you're not doing a turbo setup, you just have your intake pipe, which comes off of that. But for me, my intercooler piping will come up, meet up with the throttle body, and then hit this guy. It's all coming together. It's all coming together, dude. This is insane. This is for the AC, well, it's not for, this is the AC lines. Again, I'm gonna stop with the K-Power praise, but crazy. Ooh. Oh, they included a brand new like stock belt for a K24. How sick is that, dude? Come on. Like, I don't even think I asked for that. And they included it, wow. This, I believe, is one of your supplies. So this will actually go, when you're looking at the engine bay, this will route from the driver's side over to the passenger side. Over top of your engine will sit here. This will be like right at the back of the firewall. And this, one of these feeds into your AC system, and one of them is a return. I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, your engine's swapping your car, it's a race car. Like, what? It doesn't even need to have AC. It's South Carolina. It's 100 degrees in the summer. Like, I'm not trying to sweat and sweat and sweat and sweat sitting in the driver's seat the entire 8 months out of the year. So I wanted to keep AC. They give you a way to do it. So yeah, I'm keeping AC. All right, let's just get this big boy out of the way. K-Power offers a clutch and a adapter for your stock, whatever the designation code for the 6-speed manual out of a BRZ and an FRS. However, because I knew I was going turbo, I wanted to go with a beefier, stronger transmission. I didn't want to run the risk of like, here, let me buy all the parts to make the Subaru transmission work and then have it fail and then end up having to go with the stronger trans. Anyway, I've got my 350Z trans, my CD009 is sitting right over here. I still need to get that cleaned up. I have not really done that yet, but there's a lot of work to do, folks. Work has been crazy. I haven't had a whole lot of personal time anyway, so I'm doing my best with trying to get this all out. Anyway, so the Collins adapter is for the K24 to the CD009, and it also came with a clutch that's a street 6-puck clutch that's good for about 500 pound-feet of torque, which this is not gonna make that much. So this should be plenty. Freaking bubble stuff. And then what do we have? It's a box. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Gotta have your stickers. Gotta have your stickers. Paper. I'm gonna have more paper than paper up to my ears today. Is the adapter plate. This is what allows you to mount the transmission onto the engine. This guy. And so this is where my starter is gonna sit. So this is actually the angle. If you're looking at, say the engine is on this side, is on the front side, this bolts onto the back of the engine like this, and then the transmission bolts here. And so my starter, my stock K24 starter, will, bolt onto the engine, stick through here, and that's what will be able to turn the flywheel to get the engine started. All right, so there's my 6-puck clutch disc. So that's obviously part of the clutch. The pads, the 6 pads, the 6 pucks on this are what actually engage the transmission onto the flywheel to make everything turn, right? There is your pressure plate. So this is gonna be more or less the last thing connected to the engine before the transmission bolts onto this. Here it is. This is what I was thinking of. So this is a piece specifically from Collins. Oh, this massive chunk of steel. As you can see, this has the grooves here that will effectively replace your flywheel. This bolts directly onto the engine, and this is how your starter, your little starter motor, starts, rotates the whole engine to get the whole thing going. Like, look at all this. It's like a damn bubble tape bonanza. It's a bonanza in here. God. All right, so that's most of the big stuff. We've got a couple boxes here with the last parts that I've been waiting for, really just the last couple of days. And these last 2 pieces came from Throttle. Shout out to Throttle. If you guys don't know, they're based out of California. They used to work for TJ Hunt. Well, not work for, but they still work closely with TJ Hunt. If you want to check out the website, again, link down in the description. So these are my Grams Performance 1000cc injectors. Normally, when you go to an injector above about 700, 750 cc's, they switch from high impedance to low impedance. Now, what does that mean? It's an electrical kind of a term. It's a resistor. These have resistors inside of them, right? Impedance measures how much resistance or how much these impede the ability for the electrons to flow through the system. Most of your stock injectors, almost all of your stock injectors, in fact, will be high impedance injectors. And as you kind of start to increase, you go from, say, 400 cc's, 550, 600, 700, whatever it is. At some point, you'll switch from high impedance to low impedance, which means that you need an additional resistor box, like to go in line between the injectors and your wiring harness, because the data, the information that's being sent to these, if you don't have that box, it's not going to work properly. I don't know. I sound like I know what I'm talking about here, but that's my very simple pea-brain understanding of it. I am an engineer. I'm not an electrical engineer, but I believe that all adds up. Anyway, but yeah, so Grams makes a 1000 cc injector that is high impedance. So with these, I can run my stock wiring harness that runs to my injectors without having to add in any sort of extra resistor box. So that was a big draw for me when I went with these. I could have gone with like Deechworks or Injector Dynamics or something like that, but these are just the ones I decided to go with. Definitely recommend these, and we'll see how they work. So this is a 2-piece timing chain cover from the company Skunk 2. The front of the engine, kind of the pretty one that when you look at the engine bay and you're like, wow, that's a good looking engine. This guy is going to fit directly onto the front of it. It's where the chain goes. It's the timing chain cover, right? I believe this is also billet aluminum. Like, man, that's nice. So the other half goes up here and it actually attaches, no, it doesn't attach to the head, but if for whatever reason, if you're going to be having like deck work done, like if you're gonna have, say you're fully building an engine, you know, from the bottom up, you know, forged internals and head work and every, you know, all that kinds of stuff. If you're doing deck work to where you're like shaving millimeters off of the top of your block or the bottom side of your engine head, because of the fact that this comes in 2 different pieces where this will attach here and it'll be the full complete set, you can actually have this shaved down to match your block, or you can have the bottom side of this shaved down to match the head. So really nice that these like come in 2 pieces. Not that that's the type of work that I'm gonna be having done, but for those of us that are doing fully built, crazy 1,000 horsepower drag K24 builds, this is the one you want to go for. Ooh, big reveal. Oh yeah. Oh, dude. Imagine this thing sitting on the front of the BRZ just looking mean. Yeah. That's so sick, dude. If you really wanted to, you can flip it around on the other side where it doesn't have the logo, but I mean, come on, how do you not run the logo side? If you wanted to have like, you know how like Sheepy Race has theirs that they use for their insane twin turbo R8s and all that jazz? Like, if you wanted to, you could spray your own decal on the back of this, but I'm not gonna do that because, one, I don't have a decal. Maybe if I get like a BWS at some point, leave a comment down below if you wanna see me like actually like spray a decal on the back side of this and run it that way. Because you can run it either forwards or backwards. It's completely universal. You can run it however you want. I believe you could actually run this. You can run this completely upside down if you wanted to. If this fits your need better than this way, go for it. I think that is just about gonna wrap it up for all of this stuff that I was gonna unbox today. So like if I wanted to, I could pull the stock engine and with the new motor mounts that I have, I could drop this thing in there. But I have a lot of work left to do on this stock engine. I have the timing chain replacement I need to do. That's gonna be a whole video on its own. I have all the stock accessories to come off and either be cleaned or replaced. I need to test the alternator to see if it works, the AC compressor, the starter, like all that stuff needs to be tested. I've got all the new parts that I have need to go on, so like the full final assembly and everything, before that engine ever even comes out. So yeah, the plan is finish almost entirely the K24 refresh before I pull the stock engine. Another thing that goes into that is the fact that I'm currently planning on moving in the next couple of months. I don't really know how I'm gonna get the car from here to the new place at the moment. Most likely it's just gonna get towed, which in that case, it doesn't really matter if it has an engine or not, because it's just gonna get pulled, you know, they'll attach a winch to it and they'll pull it up onto a flatbed. I don't know, I'm kind of going back and forth on exactly like with the schedule of like when everything's gonna happen and like the, you know, timeline for everything. Yeah, it's almost the end of January at this point. So originally I wanted to have this build done by the end of last year. And here we are. I have really, realistically not even started. I have, you know, my turbo and my manifold, which I did a video on that if you want to see that. I'll leave a link. There's so much left to do, and some of this stuff only just came in. Most of, like the 2 of these K power boxes, my injectors, everything only just came in like last week. So I could have gotten started, but I didn't have my engine mounts. I didn't have that transmission adapter. So there's like, I could pull the stock engine, but if I can't put the new one in there, you know, it's kind of like, I might as well just wait. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, which I know I did, getting to unbox all this stuff, kind of like a little kid on Christmas. If you enjoyed it, leave it a thumbs up down below. If you want to follow the build and see how this whole thing goes, and if you want to stay up to date on all the news regarding this engine and regarding the engine swap, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And until next time, build your dreams.